Hybrid picking is one of the most versatile techniques that we can use on the guitar. It's one that I use virtually every time I pick up the instrument, and I think it's something that a lot of players maybe are interested in but don't know how to start. So in today's video, I'm going to give you 3 awesome exercises you can do to start building up your confidence and comfort with this beautiful technique of using pick and fingers to kind of get the best of both worlds. Have your cake and eat it too. Fingerstyle guitar stuff and, alternate picking shred. So in the basics of hybrid picking, again, what that is, if you are unfamiliar, it's using your pick as if it was one of your fingers and doing fingerstyle stuff. So it's like you're doing fingerstyle, but you lost one of your fingers and you replaced it with a pick. And it's something that I use a lot in my playing, especially when I'm doing things like chord melodies, It's something that gives you a lot of kind of versatility where you can make the melody pop when you're playing chords. And again, you can use it for a bunch of simple stuff like that. So the first technique, or kind of things that I'm going to show you, are variations of what I like to call rolls. And so what we're going to do to kind of demonstrate this is on our top 4 strings, let's grab this chord shape. This is a G add 9 chord. So I have 5 on the D string, 4 on the G string, 3 on the B string, and 5 on the E string. And what I'm going to do is I'm simply just going to roll my fingers. So the first one would go pick, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. And before you try this, I want to show you something very particular with my left hand. And if I turn that way, my guitar is going to buzz. So I'm just going to hope that it's visible here on the B cam. But when doing hybrid picking, my hand is basically like this. It's kind of like a closed shell. And rather than, a lot of my students will try to do this plucking motion. Rather than plucking, it's almost like I'm trying to hook my fingers under the string sideways. And when I pluck, it's almost like I'm pulling up from the underside of the string, rather than trying to do these big dramatic strums like you might do with your pick, or if you drop your pick, swinging your thumb around. But so rolls, if we grab that G add 9 chord, you can use any chord to do this, but the G add 9 is a really good one to do because you just have 4 adjacent strings. And what you're going to do is you're going to go pick, middle, ring, pinky. And the trick is just trying to get this nice balanced, constant sound. And what you're going for in the beginning is going to be all of these notes hopefully ringing at a somewhat level volume. A lot of the time you might find your pinky's a little bit weaker, so you might have to pluck a little bit harder with it. But just try to zone out and focus on this constant stream of notes. Now this is kind of advice 1.2, I guess, because now that you got this down, it's worth coming up with some variations. So what if we did the reverse? What if we went pinky, ring, middle, pick? How even and level can you get this? So this is a beautiful sound. And then you can come up with tons of variations on this, where they're just 4-note patterns. But then what if I call this one out, out, in? So if you went pick, not thumb, pick, pinky, middle, ring. So that would be. And all we're really trying to do when we come up with these rolls is build our comfort. I messed up the pattern there, but doing it while talking is a separate skill that you probably won't need to learn. You could also do in, out. So what if I did middle, ring, pick, pinky? And again, we're just trying to develop some flexibility with our right hand and what it's comfortable doing. So those are using rolls to build your hybrid picking technique. Now this second one that we're going to look at, let's use that same chord, so G add 9. But now there's 2 patterns I want to show you where you pluck 2 strings at the same time. And again, when you do these 2 strings, rather than doing dramatic strums, I almost try to think like I'm pinching. So for this inner and outer pattern where we're playing 2 notes together, we're going to start out by going pick and pinky together, and then middle and ring together. So that would sound like this. And this gets you used to what it's like to play 2 strings at one time. And again, we're just going for that same thing. Some dexterity. We want it to feel normal, feel natural. Sorry if you can hear my cat in the background. But this is a great way to build up some technique. Now let's look at some other combinations we could do. So obviously there's the flipped version of that where we do the middle and the ring together and the pick and the pinky together. So another kind of common one would be pick and ring together and then middle and pinky together. That one's tricky, actually. That one's kicking my butt. But anyways, working on different combinations where you're playing two at the same time can be a great way to help develop your technique on this. And then the final one is using them in the case of a melody. So let's say, for example, in this case, I'm just going to simplify this to a G triad. So 5, 4, 3 on the D, G, and B strings. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pluck those, and then I'm going to pluck the 5th fret of the B string with my ring finger on the right hand and my pinky's grabbing that. But so here we would go. If we wanted to take it further, we could find another note to play on top of this. So what about the 3rd fret of my E string if I put it there? So where again, now we're working on being flexible with our fingers and finding ways to play melodies with them. Because again, when I'm playing solo jazz guitar gigs, or again, I use hybrid picking every time I pick up the guitar probably. But if I'm doing... I'm doing a lot of that kind of stuff where I'm using any of these 3 fingers to pluck melodies on top of chords. And again, the thing that working on all of this does that's really, really nice, say for example I strummed that same G add 9 chord. If I went, all of the notes are around the same volume because I have significantly less control with a pick. But if I wanted to make the top note really ring out on that, I can pluck with my pinky a little bit extra harder to make it pop. And that can be a really desirable sound that, again, just makes you more kind of flexible and technically adept at the stuff that you can pull out on the guitar. And again, you can pull all of these beautiful little rolling textures, beautiful little melodies plucked with your fingers. So anyways, that's an introduction and some great exercises to do if you're looking to get into the beauty of hybrid picking. But if you found this video useful or interesting, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It truly helps me out more than you could know. If you want to take a guitar lesson with me, there's a link to get in touch with me down in the description. I'd love to work with you on whatever's troubling you on the guitar. If you're looking to support me in the free educational content that I put out here, you can subscribe to my Patreon page down below. Over on my Patreon, I share early access to all of my videos, as well as cool behind-the-scenes sneak peeks at stuff that I'm working on that I'm not sharing anywhere else, so I'd love to see you over there. Another great way to support me and what I do is to check out either my ebook or my video courses, linked down below as well. It's a fantastic way to get some educational content from me that's more in-depth than I can go into in a 10 to 15-minute YouTube video. And last but not least, I have new videos coming out every single week, so I hope I'll see you in the next one, and until I do, I'll wish you a wonderful day, and I hope you have some fun playing the guitar. Thanks.